Well, it was a week of ups and downs, and kind of honestly a little bit of more of a return to normalcy. It all started with me editing the videos for the Boston Furry Picnic. That's up, of course. I was checking to see if I could save any of the videos, like the Boston videos. Still trying to save that, the Fur Bowl videos, but editing videos has become really fun for me. Like, if you see, the Boston video has actually had music added to it, like I used to do with skiing. And the reality is, skiing is coming, and I think things are going to kind of slow down a little bit because I love skiing, fursuiting as much skiing, but I'm an expert skier, so honestly, I don't think I make ski videos. I think I'm just going to keep doing the fursuit videos, of course. But I would love the idea of talking to those outdoor furries about skiing in a fursuit. I've been talking to people about it. I mean, wouldn't that be something great for a video? But for now, I do have to have a little bit of a reality focus. One of the biggest things is that I haven't talked about how I have a little bit of a dental problem. I talked about it on one of my live streams. Basically, there's one tooth in here that has to get serviced, and I don't have insurance because of the new job. That should be any week now, and then I get to go see them in December, really right before skiing starts, and before Anthem of England. But thankfully, that's not like any major medical thing. In fact, it's been a great week of work. Last week, I was on the phones. I started taking the phones. This week, I will say, I have actually brought Chance into work with me. Not physically, not like this. But I have actually brought his confidence into work. It has helped me, and shockingly enough, he kind of has come into work because I just today had to add one more thing to the script because I caught myself doing this at work. Like I was think maybe I'll make a TikTok of it where when we work from home in a couple of days before I come home permanently, and I was thinking like I'll make a little TikTok of it about how like my hands are moving. I won't spoil the whole thing, but I got a TikTok idea out of it because I caught myself literally making hand movements while I was on the phone talking to the customers. Like I was doing this, like I was, okay, you agree to this, and you agree to that, and you agree to... I was literally practicing fursuit. And the funny thing is, when I come home, that's honestly something I could see myself doing, practicing the fursuit, and when I have to like read the scripts and everything. Obviously, when I have to type on the computer, that ain't gonna work, but... Dancing, you saw the dance of TikTok that's up there. I do gotta get a little better at dancing. I do eventually still think I want to get in the dancing competition. There's singing, of course. I have been practicing my singing. I talked about that. But I do still think that the dancing would be, for me, a little more fun, a little easier to get into. Hard to master, of course. But something that I would really just because I used to love doing it as a kid, and I'm really getting to a point where I really don't care if people like see me dancing, so I'll dance, I'll get some music, I'll dance. If that's what people want me to do, it's kind of what I want to do, so I'll work out some routines. I already got that whole photograph one that's up in a TikTok, but I have a whole routine for that song. Speaking of music, I'm back in the band. When I started band a couple of weeks ago, I thought it was weird because it was going back permanently, and I thought, oh, I don't need Chance for this, and I honestly kind of do because I keep forgetting that that Shadow and Chance are parts of me that I lost and that I need to bring with me. So, like last week at band, I just brought my confidence, and yes, I had a great time. So, thank goodness for that because I'm back with them permanently now. Rehearsing every week, not just for the fall. I'll be there for the winter, the summer, the spring. So that's going to be great. That's another thing that's back because of my new job. And I'm confident I can get it now. Still, this was a week where I had a little bit of a down moment. One of my friends, or I thought he was a friend, someone not local so much. Someone a couple hours away that I had met once before and been talking to, they basically told me to slow down. But they didn't say it in the nicest way. I think I made a video about it. I'm not going to go into great detail. But the reality is I talked about how when it comes to burnout, I know my limits. I know I can handle this. I know I can handle a live stream and a couple first student events, when in reality, this thing, I won't be putting it on. I know people who put this on daily for several hours a day. I won't be wearing this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll be wearing it Saturday and Sunday at first student events, yes. And then I'll be wearing it Monday night for the stream. So 3 days I wear it. Yes, 3 days in a row. But that means 4 days, well, it's only on for a couple minutes when I record this video. I know my limits and I know it's burnout. I'm still convinced that that day, because it was the day after, I went to photo shoots event and it started out well. Looking back with some more rested eyes, it started out really well with me socializing with all my friends, and then basically we started a game that just kind of turned into chaos, and I just in the moment was not ready for it. So it did become the second event ever that I left before it ended. That one I instantly regretted. I honestly, driving home, Shadow was basically telling me, okay, so the game didn't work. Just stay there and socialize, you idiot. And in retrospect, that's exactly what I should have done. I should have just said, I don't want to play the game. I'm going to go socialize with everyone else. That's what I should have done. And that's what I will do. I will definitely go back because I do know that that first game was very chaotic. And while I couldn't handle it at the time, something I'm going to have to, I do know that they did figure it out. So next time, I got to be ready for a little chaos. I mean, how am I going to handle for Apocalypse? It's obviously going to be chaotic. So it really is going to be a bit of a challenge. What else? Of course, I always talk about support. My friends were very supportive. I was very clear, it's not you. It wasn't a medication issue this time. It's not you, it's me. I did not get good night's sleep last night. Which 621 rule, Brian, you gotta get used to that. Gotta get used to that. Especially now that I'm back to work too. Should be easier though when I start work from home. But that night I did actually, after a nap, go to the Fur Bowl, and as I originally said to myself, I did not bowl that night. Heck, there was apparently some event going on, so there was barely anyone there. Nobody in a fursuit was bowling. But we were all talking to each other, socializing. I made that TikTok, of course, with someone that was there who has 11,000 followers. I was like, let's make a TikTok, and it's the one where she comes up and scares us. That was very fun to make. It's I've got ideas for TikToks that I want to make. So that is something else. It's that's one of the plans going forward that I want to work on, is coming up with funny TikTok ideas, because I do enjoy making those TikToks. Perhaps more than making YouTube videos. But these are important. But the TikToks are fun, they're funny, and I love doing them. I just got to think more ideas. Heck, maybe I do start chasing trends. But speaking of TikTok, I finally got Orlando on, so I am doing live stream. And yes, if you look at the replay here on YouTube, this new mic is not good for live stream. So live stream, I'll continue using the phone mic, but you may have noticed the audio is a lot clearer because I'm actually using a microphone. My part of the TikTok live was great. It was just microphone is so sensitive, it picked them up too, their voices, so that won't work for live streams oh well. But that was fun to do it with him. Hopefully we do it again when my microphone is working. Maybe that's why I wasn't talking so much, but we'll definitely do it again. And again, he's the one who I'm going to meet at Hampton, New England. I'm just so excited for that. But if you can believe it, we're only now less than 3 weeks away for Apocalypse, my first con. So, good thing about that event is pumpkin picking, that should make for a good video. I did kind of record a little bit of the fight, but I don't think I'm going to upload that one just like I abandoned the other videos. But pumpkin picking, I mean, we did apple picking, so pumpkin picking, that's an event they've done before. Shouldn't be chaos. Should be great for a fursuit video. And I don't know if I'll record the fursuit event, the one I first have, which is we're doing mini golf. But I will definitely record my event the week after on the 18th. No, 25th I have another fur bowl. The week before FurPoc, that won't be that'll be another case where I just socialize with people and won't record. And kind of take it easy before the big moment where I go to FurPocalypse. So I have this is the final week in the office, and I think I have to go in the office Monday. Then I start work from home again. Now, one of the biggest things that I'm continuing to work on is acting, like, I think I've got this down pretty much, like I talked about, like, even at work, I'm doing this, but I need to start acting more animalistic, and I started working on that at the Fur Bowl. Like, asking people, like, okay, someone booped me, and they're not in a fursuit, they don't even have a fursuit. What do I do? And they were like, oh, well, you know, just think of it like act surprised or cover your nose or be like, aw, like something like that. So I got to figure out what Shadow would do. He'd probably just do this, like, hey, something like that. And do it silently, of course. Silent Suitin, there was the video about how, like, everyone has something that's kind of like humanistic about their character. I think the moving mouth and the fact that I talk is kind of my aspect there, but I do need to work on acting more animalistic. Still, once again, I had a dream. And it was a dream that night after going to the Fur Bowl of not Shadow this time, but Chance, the main persona. And Shadow was looking on, and he was proud of Chance, who Chance had become, who had become an alpha. And I do still want to make that video talking about him. I have reached out to artists to get, like, fight-in poses and such, because I want that video to be good, really good. When I tell my persona story, the story of Shadow, the story of Chance, who Shadow guides, and Riley, yeah, I think I have to get a couple of pictures of Riley too, just so that you have them. That'll be all art-based. Which means I need more art of Shadow, too. So that may be a few weeks off, but I am planning to make that video at some point. Long story short, the newness of being a furry has finally wore off. I've realized now that I'm in here, now that I am a furry, it's time to not slow down, but pace myself to make a plan of where I want to go now that I am in the fandom. I'm still going to be documenting, of course, my first year as a furry, but now that I am a furry, and I talked last week about how now I feel like I represent the fandom, okay, so if that's true, then what am I going to do in the fandom? And I think a lot of questions, based on what I've heard, will be answered in a couple of weeks when I go to my first furry convention. And yes, it'll be chaos, but it's chaos I've been preparing for through all these events. And I'll just have to make sure to get a very good night's sleep and get myself ready, because once I'm there, I'm not leaving until I have to come back to work. So I better be ready. I've found friends real life. I just got to remember, like Photoshoot and Dasher, of course, they contacted me after the event. I was like, it's me. Contact them a few times later. I said, we'll do this again. You know, I had told them about the whole issue with my friend, so clearly that had been still affecting me because that ended the night before. Still, it all comes down to, like I said, a real plan. So while this was a week with some downs, the reality is there are still several ups. There are still many moments in the future. And while there are still things for me to figure out, I will figure those out. I welcome the challenge, and I will see you out there, fellow furries.